Greetings, everyone. My name is tgreen. I am the host and executive producer of my channel, Mind Your Business, where I share my knowledge to help you become entrepreneurs working from home. Well, in thinking about the content that I'm going to place on this channel and some of the subjects that I want to talk about, one concept came to mind that I thought that I would share with all of you. Now, as I told you in my previous video, I worked in corporate for, about 15 years. And I just recently started down the entrepreneur road about 2.5 years ago. And I'm working to becoming a full-time entrepreneur. But one of the things that I want to share with you all is a concept that I used to teach about when I was teaching at one of the institutions, was stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, the comfort zone is a place that makes us feel comfortable. The comfort zone, there's no stress. We're comfortable because we're around like surroundings. Those surroundings could be around like-minded individuals, and we're pretty much safe in our comfort zone. But the moment that we step out of our comfort zone, it could present a whole nother world to us, and it could be a scary place. It could be a place that we are not familiar with, which can cause a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. So while being in our comfort zone is not necessarily a bad thing for some of us, okay? But sometimes when you are in your comfort zone, you can become familiar with your environment and the way that you think. Now, the reason why I wanted to discuss with you about comfort zones in this video topic today is because stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the first things that you have to do on the road to entrepreneurship. So a lot of us, grew up in a household where, it was always safe to get an education, to get a good 9-to-5 job with excellent benefits, pension maybe when you retire, and you have that stability of getting a paycheck, which can be a great life depending on, where you work and what you do for a living. But what happens when your mindset changes to where you become too comfortable? Okay. It become too familiar. It's not challenging, and you feel guarded, or you feel like, your life is in somebody else's control and not yours. So it begins to get routine, and it could get boring. So a lot of you may have thought about the entrepreneur route. Okay. And let me tell you, becoming an entrepreneur and becoming your own boss is the ultimate stepping out of your comfort zone, because it could be that you haven't really been raised as an entrepreneur, or it's something that you thought about that you developed along the way. Now, my story is like that. I wasn't raised as an entrepreneur. All right. I was raised in, a working class environment, and I was raised, basically get that good education, get your degrees, do whatever it has to do to be out here and be competitive and get that good job and get that steady paycheck, which is fine. Okay. Which is what I did. And there's nothing wrong with that, because actually that type of training allowed me to be more effective in the workforce and even learn certain things that can help me along the way in my business. But I've always had this desire to start my own business. Okay. I always had this desire to be my own boss and call my own shots and make my own money, make my own schedule and everything like that. So the ultimate stepping out of comfort zone with me was it's going on 5 years now, when I relocated from Philadelphia, where I was born and raised and spent 37 years of my life. And I moved to the Atlanta metro area, where I wasn't familiar with. I never really visited Atlanta before I moved here. I heard about Atlanta. I heard about, that it was a booming, striving place. So I came down here for a career fair, actually. I came down here and saw that, things they needed, people, they needed, like my job, in other words, what I was doing. I was an accountant by profession. So when I applied for the job, it's like they called me. I came down to Atlanta for the interview and they hired me. They hired me before I even lived here and even before I had a place to live. So I relocated down here to Atlanta, and instantly that was out of my comfort zone, moving from the north to the south. Things were a little bit different down here in the south, more than what I was accustomed to in the north. And I had left corporate America about 4 years, because that's when I started to transition into being an educator and teaching. So when I moved down here to Atlanta, I had to go back to the comfort zone of working in corporate, where I wasn't used to that lifestyle, because being a teacher, I had academic freedom. I taught, I had hours where I teach my class and do whatever I want. To have to go back into that environment again. But anyway, when I went back into the corporate environment, that's when I realized that I was older, not that much older, but I was older. And there was a lot of younger individuals who worked a little bit different, who had, sharp mind, and basically who moved like that. All right. So when I came back to the job, it's like a lot of things that I had to learn again, and I'll be honest, it was a little bit difficult because I wasn't accustomed to that lifestyle. I moved on from that and I got accustomed to another lifestyle, which I loved. But when I moved down here, I had to take a job just so, I can make ends meet. So for me, that move from Philly to Atlanta was the ultimate step out of my comfort zone, because I was introduced to a world that I wasn't familiar with. I didn't even come down here and visit Atlanta before I moved here. So I jumped into this environment, and I must say 4.5 years later, me stepping out of my comfort zone really allowed me to realize what my true potential is. Atlanta, like I always say, since I've been down here, there's 3 things you're going to do down here in Atlanta. You're going to work a job. Okay. You're going to start a business, or you're going to absolutely hate it and move back to where you came from. Those are the 3 things that I discovered about Atlanta. So for me, coming down here allowed me to really focus on my entrepreneurship potential that I've had all along. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of entrepreneurs down here in Atlanta. There's a lot of small businesses. So, it's a lot of competition. It's like in my field, my career, there's people with just as much experience and education as me and more. So it's a real competition down here. So me stepping out of Philadelphia, which is a whole different environment than Atlanta, and being able to adapt and kind of get into my own made me realize that the biggest thing that you need to do when you start your own business is step out of your comfort zone, because you have to change your mindset. Okay. It's a different mindset when you are on your own. You know, everything about your business is you. Okay. You have to do things that you never thought that you would be able to do. And I'm the prime person to say, when I came down here, things started off great, but it wasn't a bowl of cherries. At least for the first 3 years, it was a challenge. I'm not going to go into the specifics about the challenge, but I will say that it was a challenge. So I'm going to use every avenue that I can to share with you and hopefully build an audience of individuals who want to start their business, but maybe need that extra oomph, be able to reach inside and discover their potential. Because once you see what your potential is, once you have stepped out of your comfort zone, I can guarantee when you find that potential and you discover it, you will become like a lion or a lioness. It's like that potential that may seem small at that point is going to automatically just snowball and become something big. And it's going to set a fire off in you to say, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. So I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you and say that stepping out of your comfort zone is easy, because it's not. It's not meant to be easy. But once you step out of your comfort zone and discover that potential, it'll open up things that you never saw before. And just think, a lot of people live their lives in their comfort zone. A lot of people live their lives in a space of comfort, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, to each his own. But a lot of times you don't discover what your true potential is if you're in the zone of comfort. And stepping out of something is not meant to be easy. Okay. But I'm from Philadelphia. All right. Philadelphia has a reputation. We're mentally tough in Philly, which means mentally we can overcome a lot. And trust me, since I've been down here in Georgia, I had to learn the ways of the South. I had to learn how to adjust and adapt. I had to actually go out and network and build my circle. But if it wasn't for me coming down, stepping out my comfort zone, I would have never got the heart to develop a YouTube channel. And while it's relatively small and I had to figure out a way to reach out to potential subscribers and to reach a certain amount of audience that I'm trying to reach, I can share one thing with you all, that I've stepped out of my comfort zone and I know what it's like to be way out your comfort zone. Around the holidays, it's not like I can just go to the family and be in the same city, because my immediate family is 800 miles away. So I got to get the holiday travel. That's something that I was never used to, and I'm not fully used to it now, but I can tell you that I'm glad that I made this move. Okay. All the things that happened to me since I've been down here, good and bad, only gave me even more motivation to start this channel, grow my business, build an audience, and attract individuals who share the same mindset that I do, because I want us all to be successful. That's my motto. So if you found this video and you're one of these type of individuals who want to start your own business, but really need to change your mindset, come on board and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to share some good information with you all that's going to allow you to develop that potential, find it, discover it, jump on it. And guess what? We'll be able to share our stories together. with the age of technology, with Facebook and Instagram and everything like that, we can connect. We can share our stories. So that's what I'm going to be using this channel for. I'm going to be dropping some good knowledge with you all. So subscribe and let's meet up. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's converse. And let's share and help each other. So until the next video, stay tuned. I have a lot more to say.